Hey everyone, it's Joanna Phillips with Let's Talk About It. And
Tammy Warner.
today is Wednesday, but you will not see this until Thursday, which would be April 30th. As
Another
always,
gorgeous day.
it is it's actually a pretty perfect day today.
Yes,
It was a little warm yesterday and the day before, but today's like perfect.
I'll take it though. Nice, nice, nice.
We would like to take a moment of silence for some members of the town that we have lost over in the last week, which includes Joe Ogilvy, John LePage Sr. There was also a gentleman that had a heart attack at Stewart's and ended up passing away. I have a name. I don't know if it's the correct name, so I'm not going to say it, but just a little moment of silence. All right, so let's get to it. We have a couple of things to cover, but in depth, I guess is the best way to put it. One of the things I'm trying to think when I was meeting with the director or producer of the drama club. I don't even know how we got on this subject. About a community. Oh, I know how we got on it, but we're not discussing that. A community kitchen. I had somebody, all right, for example, Tammy's a huge baker, right? And an amazing cook. But to get licensing, you have to have a separate kitchen in your house. It's a little different if you're just baking as opposed to cooking. I also had somebody contact me actually while I was campaigning and wanted to know if I knew how to get the license, et cetera, et cetera. She makes food for people, and the only thing she was looking to do was just charge for the ingredients, and she loves to cook. Unfortunately, same situation. She can't
Yeah.
do it. Also talked to somebody else the other day that has the same problem. She wanted to like start, I won't get into it so nobody steals her idea, start focusing on a certain group of people. So I think it would be great. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's possible to do at the community center because I know that there's certain equipment that you have to have, and I don't know what's there, but I think that would be amazing.
It absolutely would be. It absolutely would be. It's
And
something I think a lot of people could, benefit from, take advantage of. And, if there's one thing that was way back is if we're talking about community and roots and and things like that, this is something communities did a long time ago before, of course, all the laws step in for this, that, and the next thing. But this is what communities did. There'd be a household where a woman would sell something in particular that she made, and another household would sell something else that they made. And this is how, you know the money stays within the community. It helps build the community. And then once the government steps in, of course, they up. But this would be a way to maybe kind of bring some of that in.
I think it's a great idea.
I
So
think
I'm
it's
going
an
to dig a little
excellent idea.
deeper. Just so you know, you're doing the window thing again.
Am I doing the wind? I am. Yep, you're right. I was. I was. Absolutely. And you can keep that in if you want to.
You're doing the damn window thing again.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know why I feel
Uh,
that the tree across the street apparently is going to help my thought process.
I get it. I mean, I get it. I think the difference is when I do it, I'm looking forward and you're looking sideways.
Yeah, I'm
So you
going
can't
right
really
along.
tell that I'm side eye in the window. I did not last week post what the drama club needs for costumes or, yeah, costumes. So I will definitely get that up with this video. And hopefully we can get them all squared away. I think almost everything can be thrifted or somebody has, like you said, look in
Yep.
your closet.
Yep.
And so I will do that because we're running out of time because I can't even believe it's going to be May already on Friday. And they
Oh my
need it by
God.
the first or second week of May. So I have to get going on that. It's been a pretty busy week and
Yeah.
weekend,
I know. Jeremy keeps asking me what I'm going to want for Mother's Day. I'm like, I don't
right?
know.
So Tammy, while you're looking out the window, do you
Mhm.
see anything going on at the playground?
Oh, I do not. I do not. I don't see anything in the vicinity of where the playground equipment and stuff. Nothing.
Wonder what's up with that because it was stated a couple of times that it would be done before the park program starts, and that's usually around, I think, June.
Yeah,
Let's see, my granddaughter's
toward the end
birthdays.
of June.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here we are, like we say, it's going to be. Hey.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if there's a problem. Maybe that'll be addressed at the next board meeting, perhaps, because it seems kind of strange.
Yeah. Hmm.
We'll get the blame for that. I have a feeling I know who. All right, let's talk about the Recycle Center in New Lebanon. So, Jim Dawson has a Substack page. You can subscribe, and apparently it's like $80 to subscribe. I don't know. But in any event, um, well, I'm going to just kind of back up for a minute. There's a few things going on that information is getting out to people. Jim has a Substack. He tries to be neutral. Mr. Moadine has the Advocate, which he's actually had that since last year. I fell across that like I don't know, October or November of last year. He has just started using it. Um, you have Talk of the Town, which apparently is a really big area of contention.
Yeah, of course.
So, right, Substack. So I read one of the articles that Mr. Dawson did, and it was in regards to the recycle center in New Lebanon that we know was originally temporary closed until April, and now it's June. So because of that Substack, I started going down the Columbia County Board of Supervisors rabbit hole. I've only got one foot in that hole, but I'm gonna go deeper. So this is the two paragraphs that I took from Jim's Substack. The closure is part of the county's attempts to close a budget shortfall. The county waste management system was designed to pay for itself through property taxes, permits, bag sales, recycling fees, etc. In 2025, the Board of Supervisors addressed this messy situation by changing the fund from an enterprise fund, which is self supporting, to a refuse and garbage special revenue fund, which pays for deficits with the tax levy. Starting this year, 2026, any red ink will be recouped from a tax levy. This is new. This is good news for the county's fiscal health, and we will stop pretending the fund is self-sustaining, but it places a greater burden on taxpayers. The estimated shortfall for 2026 is $1.2 million. When I read this, my first question was if this is being just been discussed since 2025, why is our town supervisor not talking about it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that means that our county and town taxes are going to go up. So I did go down this rabbit hole, and here's another thing that I found. I don't know what the date was on this. I forgot to write it down. And I'm going to read the whole paragraph. Due to staffing shortages and low volume, W. Madsen sought a temporary recommendation from the committee to adjust the schedules for the New Lebanon Recycling Center and the Gallatin Station from December through April. At New Lebanon, which is only for recycling and sees a maximum of 30 people per shift and only 26 tons annually, Wendy proposed discontinuing Wednesday hours and moving to every other Saturday. This change would free up personnel to cover holes at higher volume stations like Kinderhook and Copake. After further discussion, the low efficiency of the New Lebanon Recycling Center, noting its minimal tonnage and that the facility is outdoors, requiring staff to be in their cars during the winter, the committee concluded that closing New Lebanon until April seems the best approach given the strain on the system. This is very important because this didn't happen, but emphasized the need for public outreach to the New Lebanon supervisor. She, our town supervisor, never brought that up. It was sent out in an email blast. I actually called the town to find out why that was happening. And it had to do with staff shortages. But clearly, there's more to this based on Jim's
Right.
Substack. So, as we all know, we got an email stating that they would be opening in June. That is not correct. Per meeting minutes from the county board of supervisors, New Lebanon will be closed indefinitely.
That's what I thought too, that it was closed indefinitely.
But the last email said June. That's not happening. It's closed indefinitely. As well as anybody that uses the transfer station in Chatham or wherever, you have your garbage has to go in the county's bags. The price of those bags are raising $1 per bag. So what do we take from this? County taxes are going to go up. Our recycling center will be closed indefinitely, which means it's not going to reopen. And the price for the bags is going up. And it's not being talked about publicly. Why?
Because
Why?
it doesn't look good. I mean, come on, but this is the reality that we live in, and it
I
should be
mean,
discussed. So maybe we can, how can we work toward solving issues or anything of that nature? Looking out the window again. If we're not talking about these things,
I will say in defense of our town supervisor for the indefinite closing and the price increase, that happened in April. So maybe it'll get brought up at the board meeting. But the Substack is what got me because he's stating that it was discussed. And then I read that what it said
right?
that they encouraged our town supervisor to do public outreach. Here's a thought. What can we do for recycling in New Lebanon? Granted, Michael Carey, who owns the Gallup property and the post office property, has the recycling center there. You can bring your bottles and stuff. Whole long story of where that goes to and why, but it's a good cause. But what if someone took on the task, and I will say in the town or climate smart because it's recycling, to do recycling and putting that money towards the seniors, right? Every little bit helps.
Yeah,
But the point is, there are other options for your recycling. The only difference is for the recycling, it's returns, anything that has a return on it, cans, bottles, but anything that is just recyclable, we could do something as a town and put that money towards not the seniors group, but the actual seniors that are not in the group.
right. Hmm.
So just a thought. I would love to hear what all you people out there think about it.
Yes.
The community center. I'm of the opinion, as are many others, that private events to reserve to the community center, that the town will get money for that event, should take precedence over anything else in that community center. If I want to book a day or any other taxpayer wants to book a day, that perhaps there's something free going on or a day that the other side is going to be open. And I've seen it happen where they've closed it for a private event. That should take precedence. I have become aware of a situation where that wasn't a possibility, where somebody wanted to book an event and they couldn't close the facility down. Makes no sense to me. Having said that, I would like to remind people that the Catholic Church has a
Yes.
beautiful hall and a full kitchen. You can do events there as well. And quite honestly, the community center hurt the church as well as the library. I mean, and that's the truth.
And the church, it's very nice space. It's a very nice space. We've used it. I've been to things there multiple times. And my niece's Chelsea's baby shower, we planned and did there. A very nice space. It's nice. It's got a lot of room.
I mean, when we're finding ways to cut expenses and you want to find ways to generate more revenue, why would you say no? It's not right. My opinion. So here's something I learned yesterday. Mary Lee put up a post yesterday about a franchise fee that is on her cable bill for the bar. And it said town, it had the word town supervisor or something on it. So I looked that up. Fun fact. I looked at my bill too. Hers is 490 for the bar. Mine is like $262. 200, geez, no, $2.62 a month on my Spectrum bill. What happens is if somebody like a cable company, I would assume Consolidated. I don't know anybody that's Consolidated. I'll have to ask Sharon because she has Consolidated. So these companies have to get permission from the town to run their services in our town. And what happens is we charge the tax, the people that use these a franchise fee. I mean, you can look at that at two different ways, but that money's not going to the town supervisor. That money is actually going to the town. It's approximately $10,000 a year. It is under a revenue code under the budget. I haven't looked. No, I wanted to look at that last supervisor's report to see how much money has come in from that and how long it's paid. Um, and also squirrel, I'm going to scroll backwards for a minute. In the community, in the county stuff that I was looking at, I do believe that the sales tax revenue is down, which means our town's sales tax revenue is going to be down. I also believe that when the town supervisor said that, she actually knew that. So, you know, the $22,000, which is really over $300,000, but we'll go with the 22,000 is actually going to be more of a deficit than that. I have no comment on that. How about you? All right. So the big talk of the day today is the communication committee.
Yes.
They had a special meeting Monday night. It was 2 hours long. I'm going to try to be delicate. I'm going to try. So here are the things that I took away from this meeting. First and foremost, the meeting for the 30th. Sorry, forum. The meeting for the forum is canceled.
Now I got that commercial in that can. I'm like that
Price
can.
Chopper. Yeah. Yeah, they're can sales. So because they realized that they weren't ready. It was stated that it would be tentatively rescheduled for the 21st, depending on how things go in their next meeting on May 11th. However, an email came out yesterday from the town stating that the meeting is on, or forum, sorry, is on the 21st. So I don't know what the hell's going on. Let's start with the feedback that we're hearing. It's just an extension of the town supervisor's voice. The people that show up will be the same usual people that are there to support the town supervisor and the board. Not recording live stream and allowing remote real-time involvement is choosing when the public gets full visibility and transparency. It may not be illegal, but it's undermining trust. It's a big problem.
It is a big problem.
So now let's talk about the actual meeting. I keep going back to this open meeting law thing and how they're trying to skirt that with the forum. Here are the facts. The committee was formed by the town board. The members were appointed by the town board. They're using the word forum to try to get away from the recording aspect. And you don't have to record it. I mean, let's start there. But public business, plus a quorum
Yep.
equals a meeting, plus meeting equals at the very least meeting minutes. You can try to get away from the forum thing with the forum thing, but the fact of the matter is, if you have a quorum at these public forums, it's still a meeting.
And again, anyone can record.
Correct. I mean, you can call it a forum, but it doesn't change the open meeting laws.
Right. And even if they're gonna, gonna record, you can record and say again, everyone wants it, rather efficiently, quickly, then you could make sure it's definitely put out.
Hmm. And speaking of that, they will be recorded. These meetings will be recorded. And, for people that want to remain anonymous, and I actually think this is a good idea. I mean, it would be 100% better if it was live streamed. For those people that want to remain anonymous and not on camera, the camera will be angled away. There will be like a section per se. Like, at the town hall, if you sit against that wall, you can't be seen. You can be
Right.
heard, but you can't be seen.
Right. You know where to sit in the town hall, if you know where the camera is. When you go in, if you don't want to be on camera, look and find out where it is and then position yourself so you know you're not on it.
And they're going to kind of just let everyone know that if you don't want to be on camera, it's back here.
Right.
And to keep those people anonymous, I think that they're planning on doing cards, write your question on a card. Great idea. And then they would be read. They're still back and forth on email questions. Ugh, boy. So anyways, it's going to be recorded, not live streamed. One member, mentioned she's extremely uncomfortable of being recorded and wanted to not allow anyone from the public to record. And as Tammy said, you can't do that. And also, so that was shot down anyways.
Yeah. Because if
So,
that's the way you feel, then you don't belong on the committee.
yes. Obviously there will be guidelines. Don't go into these forums and be a jerk.
Right.
Stay on topic, not people. Don't attack.
Right. Nobody's personal lives business. This is about the town. And if we stay focused on that, maybe we'll be heard more if we stay. Because you again, once you squirrel off to all the other stuff.
Right. Something that has come up more than once is topics. It came up last meeting and it came up again this week about the committee choosing topics. That means you're guiding the
Yeah,
conversation.
the conversation. That's not how it should be.
No.
Again, it's
So,
getting farther and farther away from what all of us were told during the campaign that was going to be done.
right.
It's just skirting it farther and farther and farther away.
Well, and originally these forums were supposed to be monthly, but now they're talking every other month or even quarterly. So
Hmm.
that was interesting. They also want, so there's this back and forth about, they're aware that they can't answer a lot of questions. And they want the town board involved in this first forum. Um, and the chair said at least twice that the town supervisor is the only one that can call a town board meeting. That is 100% false. 100% false.
Hmm.
Example, Councilmember Amlaw last year calling a special meeting for the audit letter to go to the comptroller. So I
Exactly.
don't know why we're putting that out there because it's not true. Any board member can call a board meeting.
Nope. Know
And
what you're talking about. Know what you're
and
talking
you can
about.
actually have that town board meeting without the supervisor there. I also think that, I'm back and forth on the town board members being there. And here's why, because we've seen retaliation. So I almost feel like people would be more apt to not want to ask questions because the town board is there and get the backlash from the town board?
I'm of the other hand on that. I think they should be there because I'm tired of secondhand information. It shouldn't be secondhand information. And also look at all the avenues right now that you can go to find, information on we want to know from them out of their mouth what they have to say about this, that, or the next thing that's a question or a concern for a community member. We want them answered. It's like all the privilege of the floor. They answer what they want, but then they don't. Well, you know what? We want these other questions answered.
But here's my concern on that. And it was brought up by one of the committee members that answers should be based off of facts that are in writing. Otherwise, it becomes speculation or opinion. And I kind of agree with that. So
Right?
if I'm asking a question with the town board there, am I going to get the word salads that we always get? And you really don't get your question answered.
Hey, I get that. But I don't think that, well, then you call it out for word salad. Call it out for it. I just
See,
think
this is
that
a prime example that Tammy and I don't agree on this, but we're going to talk
exactly.
through it.
I just think that, when we have these questions, if I have a question, I don't want to ask somebody and then have to wait and get whatever filtered response, again, still could get word salad back from, and get it. I want them to look me in the face and I want them to answer my question. I don't understand this whole committee, honestly, to begin with. I just don't get how it's gonna functionally work. I don't understand what's going
See,
on.
that's part of the problem, right? The town board forms a committee, but there's no guidelines, there's no structure. It's like, here you go, figure it out. This is a pretty complicated situation. And I
Yeah.
will tell you, there's definitely some animosity going on within that group. And it's apparent as day when you watch these meetings.
Mhm.
There was a couple of hot buttons that got brought up, and you could see the chair, get very frustrated. And in my opinion, is if you're getting frustrated with your committee members, how are you going to handle the public?
Exactly.
And you've got to figure
Well,
out how you're going to get the public to go there because right now, a lot of people think this committee looks very pro town board. The chair is a town board member's wife.
feels like propaganda. I also think that, again, if you're going to be a group put together to kind of answer the questions for the community and whatnot, and you're already presented with questions and you have a problem with answering said questions,
Yeah.
what does that say right from the start? Then I again and again, I think that the committee, there should be a vote held on who exactly is going to be, the chairperson of that committee. Again, this committee was just put together and Tistria made this person, the chair for now, but offered up, that they could vote within the group. And I know they said, oh no, we're whatever, but that was the very first meeting. I think now that they've had a couple meetings, I think honestly, a vote needs to be taken and a proper person needs to be put as chair.
I mean, now that we're talking about this, I actually, my personal opinion, feel like it's a conflict
It is.
of interest to even have a board member's significant other on this committee. I didn't think about that until just now.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
So, in talk of the town got brought up a lot in this meeting, and how the chair is just so frustrated with all these comments. And I had to go through it to be like, I don't know what she's talking about other than Mr. Modine's blog from The Advocate that was posted on there.
And again, if you have problems with facts, That's a you problem. You need to reflect because
I mean,
again,
Mr. Modine did let him have it. I will definitely
well,
say
you
that.
know what? In,
He
in
let him
in a
have it.
way, from what we've seen recently and what have you, I don't blame him.
Same.
I don't blame him.
But the comment that she made was, what has been posted over the last week or week and a half is making her, started to make her question why she's doing this and if she should be, and that she's not thick-skinned like the others. I mean, my opinion is if social media posts are making you feel this way, how are these forums going to make you feel? If you
Again,
actually get the people from both sides that you already don't like, because that's apparent,
mm-hmm.
how are you going to handle that? If
And
you can't
again, if you
handle social
can't,
media posts, how are you going to handle in person?
so far we've got someone who can't handle even social media posts, another one who can't handle being videotaped. Why are you on the committee? Why
Mm.
are you on a communication
Committee.
committee? You can't make this up,
Like it's mind-boggling to me, right?
dude, because seriously, you think about it.
So one of the committee members had brought up Mr. Modine's blog, and he had said that there was basically four questions that he picked out of there that maybe that they could discuss. So they could kind of see how they're all going to interact and stuff.
Mhm.
The chair shot that down, and you could tell she was mad as hell. So it was very apparent. The chair was very adamant, not to do that. And this member of the committee was like, no, let's talk about it. It's only four questions. Adamant, like she was mad.
Yeah, and again, it was four questions. They haven't even been asked questions. First four questions ever asked, and it threw this person for a loop.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So, when I get it's the committee meeting,
And they're
but
going to be ready on the 21st for a room full of people.
I mean, do we really think that there's going to be a room full of people?
And can't answer the
Maybe,
question. We're a communications committee, but no, not going to communicate.
yeah. So, I had high hopes for this. It's just,
Hmm.
in my opinion, not looking great. I hope they can get it together. I mean, the matrix of this group is, let's talk about Jim Dawson. Great guy. Seems like a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
But let's call it what it is, right? They're pushing him forward, even promoting his Substack, getting him out front and center. I mean, anybody with a brain knows they're doing that because he's going to run next year in
Right,
November. Because Susan's
right.
not going to run again.
Yeah.
And kudos, right? Kudos to them for doing that. So then you have a board member's wife. Then you have a Republican that used to be a Democrat. And we're going to talk about her in a minute. You have one independent. And I would say he's actually truly an independent. Obviously, I know him pretty well. And the other ones are Democrats, right? I think Jim is still an independent, but he was talking about becoming a Democrat. So the Matrix alone is not great. I really had high hopes, and I really do hope they can get it together. But if we're, in nothing, they want nothing to do with questions that were on social media. I'm like, that's a problem.
These are the questions. These are the questions. What are we supposed to ask them? What's your favorite color?
Yeah.
What you having for supper?
What color socks are you wearing today?
Yeah, yeah. Good
So
God.
it went on and on and on and on and back and forth. And um, it was it was tense, in my opinion. I had to watch it twice.
Mm.
It was long. It was like 2 hours. So at the last 10 minutes of the meeting, subject came up about, and let's be honest, this was about Ramona. Ramona had made a post on Talk of the Town in regards to council member typographs whole thing about the seniors' money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she was mean. I think she was factual.
Hmm.
So it got brought up on what the guidelines are for the committee on that. Ugh. A truly independent person felt that you should be neutral, um, and not say anything like that. One member was like, we need to, basically she wants to remove anybody that from the committee. One was, oh, we should ask the ethics board. And honestly, Ramona, as talk of the town said, was thinking about resigning, and she still might. I'm not sure. She's in Mexico. I haven't talked to her, so I don't know what's going on. Here's my opinion on that. That's the whole point of the committee is that you have a diverse group of people that have different opinions and thoughts about things. And to stifle them from talking, I mean, it's one thing if you're getting down and dirty and personal and rotten, but to give your opinion, and she gave her opinion specifically
Hmm.
stating, I'm speaking as a person, not on behalf of the committee. My opinion is you can't stifle these people. And if
No.
you do, that's going to be a problem. Your
Yep.
committee should be made up of different people with different opinions. And the unfortunate thing about this committee
Yeah.
is that all of them but two people are all of the same mindset. So if you're stifling thoughts and opinions in what you feel is disrespectful, I'm sorry, I feel like that word disrespectful is up to interpretation.
Exactly.
I don't think
Exactly.
that anyone should be stifled to discuss a board member publicly that's
They
behaving a certain
witnessed it
type of
with their
way
own
that's representing the
eyes.
town.
Witnessed it with their own eyes, and they had an opinion upon it, and they have every right. If she was on there touting what a wonderful this, that, they would have nothing to say. Nothing to say. She has every right to voice an opposing opinion. Just because she's on a committee doesn't mean all of a sudden she has to agree with everything they say.
So, and this is where the problem comes in because again, we go back to my interview with that group,
Right.
this podcast is a really big issue. I'm not personally attacking people. I'm not talking about people's personal lives.
If you're feeling attacked, look at yourselves. Look within yourselves.
It's just mind-boggling to me. So I don't know what Ramon is going to do. Um, one committee member is he's he's extremely smart and he brings things forward that people don't like, and
Hmm.
he'll push it a little bit. People don't like it,
Hmm.
but he's trying to show the whole picture, and people don't like the whole picture. But if we're going to be thin-skinned before this even starts,
Why did you bother?
like
You don't want to
I don't
communicate. You
know.
don't
Did
want to get
y'all just think it's
videos.
going to be kumbaya? I
You
mean,
don't want videos. You don't want to communicate. You don't want, you don't want to
one
answer questions.
one member wants it, we just need to be happy in the community.
Good
That's going
luck.
to take a lot of work,
Good luck.
a lot of work. So I wish this committee the best. I had high hopes. Hopefully they can get through the bogs and make this work. Obviously, Tammy and I don't agree on some things with this, and that's the great thing about it.
Yep.
But guess what? We're not like, screw you. I'm gonna get a pitchfork and burn you at
Okay.
the stake. Different opinions is what makes the world go round.
Yep.
So that's my opinion. And I don't feel like I was shit talking everyone. I'm just
No.
putting out what is presented in
Hmm.
front of us. Tammy
Absolutely.
does have something that she'd like to talk about, though.
Oh, yes. I think it is Little League season, people. And if you have not gone out and seen our youngsters out there playing, I urge you to do it. They have games at Shafford Park, but they also have them in Nassau. But I mean, if you've never seen these kids play, not only is it just a fun event and funny, But these kids really, we've got some amazing kids out there that can really play ball. I mean, it's worth taking an afternoon, couple hours, and going out and supporting and showing your support to these kids. They are our, younger
Upcoming
generations. That's
generations.
right. That's right. Let them know. Um, they work hard. They work hard at it. It's amazing to watch these kids go from t-ball and step up and step up and step well, even with your granddaughter Savannah, I mean, there's a lot of talent there, and I say get out there and show some sport.
Agreed. So I think that's it for today. Um, I got some more digging to do in some county stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna
I'm
be
ready to
digging
go.
into more county stuff. So we're gonna let you guys go. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you made it all the way to the end. We'll see you next week.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.